Hey guys, welcome back to another Yan City show. I normally do match reactions, but I feel like there's been another 4 games since I last did one. I am quite ill at the moment, as you can hear. Because I've not done one in a while, I thought I would jump on here. 3 draws in a row, not ideal. Definitely not what I wanted to see in the new year. I know sometimes we struggle coming up to Christmas, and then after Christmas is when we like to kind of step things up a little bit. That doesn't say that we don't lose or draw games in January. We do, and we have done in February too. Around my birthday, we always like to do like a draw or a loss, which is annoying for me. But yeah, just one of them things. So the league is a marathon, not a sprint. There's no end it over. We've seen, 8-point gaps with 6 games to go be overturned. So yeah, nothing is over till it's mathematically over, but we haven't helped ourselves. We could have been in a great position right now, and we're not. So I'm not too happy about that, from a fan perspective, obviously. But I don't think the games were easy games. We had 3 difficult games, and they were difficult. I think for us, what annoys me is we are having a defensive crisis. We have a lot of injuries now that we didn't have last month, for example. But I would say it's the attacking players that are the ones that aren't turning up, which is annoying because, if it was defensive errors, you could argue, fair enough, this player's out or that player's out. But I actually think the 3 culprits at the moment, Haaland, Cherky, and Foden. All 3 of them, brilliant players, have the most amount of talent, so I expect more from them, and I haven't seen that. But before that, they were doing excellently, so yeah, I'm sure they'll come back into form. We're missing chances that we would expect them to score. That's the issue. It's not like they're getting chances that it's like, oh, no one could score that. Like, these players, they are more than capable of scoring the chances that they've had. Haaland in particular, best striker in the world. Like, there's no excuse for you to be missing some of the chances that you're missing right now. So yeah, not too happy with that, but it is what it is. It's football. Players go in and out of form. And yeah, I expect that we'll get back on track at some point. So yeah, I'll just go through the games reasonably quickly. So the first one, Sunderland. Sunderland away is not easy at the best times. I don't know if you guys that are watching are City fans, or you remember when we used to go there and they used to beat us like 1-0 in the dying seconds and games like that. But since then, our record there is actually quite good. But yeah, it's not an easy place. Even when we do win there, it tends to be like 2-1. It's not like we're going there and winning 5-0, 6-0. We're not getting them sort of results there. So I expected it would be hard. Luckily, a lot of their players were AFCON, so I kind of expected us to go there and win. With what's at stake as well in the title race, etc., etc., I expected us to go there and win. Yeah, didn't create enough. When we did create, we didn't put the ball in the back of the net. And ultimately, you're not going to win a game if you don't score. So, yeah, just one of them situations. A bit frustrated about that. I expect us to win all home games. The home games is where it annoys me because I expect you to win at home. The Chelsea game, 1-0, the whole stadium was like, we need a second goal, we need a second goal. And they just weren't getting it. And when it got to that point, I remember, I think Chelsea made a couple of subs. Obviously, our defenders got injured, so both of them had gone off. And I remember thinking at that point, this has 1-1 written all over it. But I didn't want to say it because I don't want to jinx my team. And then lo and behold, 1-1. And yeah, we can't get a winner at that point. So not happy about that one. I felt like if we win that game, we probably win the next, if that makes sense. So I wasn't too happy about that. And then yeah, we go up against Brighton again, 1-0 up. We need a second goal. We need a second goal. Doesn't come. They get their goal. We don't like clean sheets. I don't know why. So we concede, and then yeah, it's too late at that point. I think maybe if that game goes on 10 minutes longer, we probably get a winner, but it didn't go on 10 minutes longer, and yeah, ultimately we dropped points. So yeah, wasn't too happy with them three. For me, draws are what fuck you up in a title race. I say this every season. Arsenal fans didn't believe me until they learnt the hard way. Liverpool fans used to argue that draws were positive that when they were competing with City, and it's a loss. Like, I don't feel like I came out of them games feeling like we'd got anything. Like, it always feels like a loss when you draw. Obviously, there's context to that. If you're in a game and you're chasing the game for 90 minutes and then you score a last minute equaliser, that feels like you got something from the game because you were chasing it the whole time. You weren't due to get any points, and then all of a sudden you get one, and it's like, okay, that's a breeze, But when you've been leading the whole game and then you come out with a draw, it always feels like a loss to me. So yeah, not too happy about that. The Exeter game, I expected us to win, obviously. Um, and yeah, we put on actually a good performance. I liked the team. The starting 11 was quite a fun starting 11, which for Pep, obviously, he sometimes he goes too weak when he's supposed to go a little bit weak, and then other times he will put out a really strong team against a team that, everyone should really be rested for. So I think the team was very strong. Like, I know Exeter fans, when they were coming in, they were saying that Haaland's going to break records against them and this, that, and the other. Um, yeah, so they were expecting to get battered when they came. Um, and yeah, that is what happened essentially. But it was a bit different to how I thought it would go. I thought when I saw Haaland start, I thought he would score. He didn't. And yeah, it was nice to see a range of different players get goals. It was nice to see that. Makado, for me, was the man of the match at halftime. I know that obviously there was quite a few players that had good performances. I know Semenyo got it, but I actually think Makado, for me, looked good the whole game. Like, I know he got his goal eventually in the second half, but I thought he looked brilliant the whole time. Really, really good game from him. And the fact that he's 17 and he's just come in for his first professional debut. I know he's been on the bench before. But yeah, for him to come in and play that way, like, he looked like he was like a senior player. So I was really, really happy with him. Kusanov, I love Kusanov. I think he's been good. I don't know why people have this illusion that he's been terrible. He really hasn't. Like, he's quick. He's a good defender. Max, who's come back from Watford, I thought he was really good. Obviously, he got his goal. Pep actually took him off to rest him, which shows how much Pep rates him right now. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with quite a lot of our youth players in that game. Rico Lewis looked good when he came on, really, really good. Um, and yeah, I know it's Exeter, so a lot of people will say, oh, this. That's why I'm talking about the young players more than the senior players, because for them, I'd expect them to be at Exeter. But when you are coming into a new team and you're playing that well on your debut and you're scoring or assisting, that deserves credit. So they get a lot of credit from me. I will touch on Semenyo because obviously it's a bit different with him. It's his debut. I thought he looked really good. I think the issue with City that we've had in recent seasons, I would say, is it's kind of like everyone, if we're defending a corner, everyone gets back. So the only time we can have a breakaway goal is if somebody gets the ball and passes it to someone in the midfield who then passes it to Haaland, and then Haaland runs halfway across the pitch and then he's one-on-one with the keeper. Them sort of scenarios. But yeah, Semenyo, he kept his width. He kept out wide, he kept back. So it just meant he was always an outlet for someone to pass to. Again, I know it's Exeter, and against other teams, he might not have the space that he had, but I thought he played really well. It kind of reminded me of like the old days when we used to have Sterling um, on the wing, bombing down that wing. So I'm quite happy with Semenyo. I thought he played well. The goal that he scored, I did say even before the game, the chance that Semenyo got against Sunderland, he scores that. And I did say that at the time, like, that that got that chance, that he had. Okay, fair enough. You know, he made the run. He got in that position. I'm not dissing Semenyo because I like Semenyo. I don't think he's quite where we need him to be yet, but I do like him. But yeah, I think that position that he's in, Semenyo scores from there. And funnily enough, the goal that Semenyo scored was a similar kind of position, and he puts it in the back of the net. So I'm just saying, you know, he's more clinical than our other wingers. I will say that. So yeah, I like him. He seems like a nice guy. A lot of people were speaking highly about him. You know, fans of Bournemouth were saying, and even fans of Bristol City were saying, how good of a person he is. Like he went to support Bristol City in the playoffs and stuff like that. He didn't need to do that. He was playing for Bournemouth at the time, you know, but he did. So he seems like a good guy. You know, and yeah, I like him. I do like him. So I hope that his City career is successful. And I hope he becomes more of a Raheem Sterling than Jack Grealish. And I like Jack Grealish, but it didn't work as well as we wanted it to work. So yeah, just get on the comments quickly. Big up Sammy every time he says good day, Jan. Luca, big up Luca says, hey, you okay? Long time. I'm ill, but I'm okay. Big up Ryan says, hi, Jan. Lucas says, you confident of winning the league? Do you know what? It's weird because I am never confident. I'm one of them City fans that are like, wait and see, wait and see, wait and see. But this season, I was like, I think we're going to win the league. Um, and I do feel that way. And I know that it sounds crazy right now, but yeah, there was like a meme and it says, Arsenal are not going to win the league, but I can't prove it. And I feel like that. Like, I feel like I can't prove it till it happens. But yeah, for now, Man City aren't scoring enough for me to seriously be like, we're going to win the league. I think I did feel like that. And then the last 3 games, it's kind of showed me you're not scoring enough. Like, you have to score goals. Like, you can't go 3 games in a row and score 2 goals. Like, in a title race, like, you need to score goals. So Haaland needs to find his form. I know a lot of people say Haaland in January just can't get it together. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know at this point. What I would say is it's too early to rule it one way or the other. No one wins the league in January. You don't lose the league in January unless you're significantly behind. I feel like if Arsenal had won against Liverpool, it would have put them in a much better position. But like I say, Alex Ferguson was 8 points clear of City with 6 point games to go. And this wasn't Pep City, this was Mancini City that had never won the league. And fair enough, on paper, the squad we had was brilliant. Like, that squad was ridiculous on paper, but you would still back Man United at that time to get over the line over City. So yeah, I've seen that. So because I've seen that, I can't ever turn around now and say that City could not win the league against Arsenal. Like, it's not over till it's over. What I would say is if we continue to drop points, you know, Man United away, Liverpool away, we've got Spurs away, we've got some big games. Sorry, my nose just wants to run. But yeah, we have some big names, some big games, sorry, coming up. And if we drop points in all of those, or even 2 of those, then it starts looking a bit less likely. But for now, we'll just have to see because anything can happen in football. We've seen it before. Do you know what I mean? Even look at City, like 3 draws in a week, 6 points dropped. It can happen. Do you know what I mean? So, and draws, you don't even have to be bad. I don't think City were bad. Like a lot of people, they see win, good play, and you know, draw terrible or loss ridiculous. Like, no, I actually think City played quite well, to be fair. And if we, you know, in I'd say 2 of them games, if we just put the ball in the back of the net when we should have done, it might have been a different story. I think Chelsea was more end to end. That one, I do feel like Chelsea had their chances too that they could have taken. So the Chelsea one, not so much. I thought Chelsea played quite well. They defended really well. So I do think Chelsea probably deserved the point. Brighton, however, Brighton were trying to lose that game. Like the amount of chances they gave us, like I don't know what City were doing in front of, the chances they were missing. We just don't miss them chances usually. So yeah, that game we should have won. And I think Sunderland away with the players they had out, we should have won that. So it annoys me. I said this on Twitter, and there was someone that was like, "You're so ungrateful, City fans." But I did say, if Rodri shoots in any of them other games, we win them games. Like this is Rodri. Rodri, who every time he shoots, it seems to go in. Shoot, man. If he shot, we would have probably scored in them games. But it is what it is. And what's meant to be will be. If we're meant to win the league, we'll win it. If we're not, we won't. So it is what it is. But yeah, for now, I actually don't know. I can tell you that. Man City for me, do you think you get Mark Gay? I actually don't think we get Mark Gay. And I felt this way. I think when a player like basically joins another team and doesn't because of issues with the transfer, it's quite rare that they don't end up going there. Um, I'm not saying City can't convince him because I don't know what they're saying to him. They could be saying, look, if you come here now, we can promise you this, promise you that, promise you something else. I don't know. But I think in the Man City team, when everyone's fit, I don't think Guy starts. Sorry. And yeah, it's one of them things. He's going to want to play every week. He's going to want to start. He's captain. He's going to want to start. And I feel with like with Liverpool, because Konate's not renewed his contract, he walks into Liverpool next season. Him and Van Dijk would be the two that would start. So yeah, I feel like Liverpool makes the most sense. Obviously, I like Guy. He's homegrown. He's still quite young. He's experienced in the league. It makes sense for us to buy him. Like I would not be against trying. We should definitely try. But me personally, I can't see him going anywhere other than Liverpool. And the only reason why he wouldn't go to Liverpool is if he wants to stay in London. So that defeats the objective in coming to City. So yeah, if he is choosing to stay in London because I live in London and it's such an effort to move to Manchester. I've done it so many times, So if he wants to stay there, then he'll probably go to an Arsenal, because it's not far away, So yeah, it's just one of them things that I don't see it. I'd like to be proven wrong because I actually do rate Guy. There are other options that we could get. A lot of our fans are kind of more towards Slaughterbeck and players like that. So I don't really know, but I like the fact that he's homegrown. He's young. I like him. I do like him. But yeah, for me, I'd be surprised if he goes anywhere other than Liverpool. Sammy says, I like pace on the wings always. I have that cough too. This is like the worst thing ever. It's just my throat. Like my throat is finished. Don't even have like much else of a cold. Like my nose is running, of course, but yeah, it's kind of weird. Dave says, draws mess you up big time. 3 draws are the equivalent of 2 defeats. I always say this. You might as well lose. If we'd have lost to Chelsea and Sunderland but beat Brighton, we'd have the same points. Like it makes no difference. It's just and that's why they mess you up. Like even this season, like we were 2 points off Arsenal. We'd lost way more games than Arsenal. But we hadn't drawn many, to be fair. Like them 3 draws in a row were coming. I actually felt like saying before um, the Sunderland game even happened, we're actually due a 0-0 draw. We haven't had a 0-0 draw in a long time, and you get them every season. So kind of felt like it was due at some point, but I thought maybe it would come in like the Manchester Derby or, one of them bigger games. So yeah, kind of annoying that it's happened when it's happened. But yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. Big up to Thomason, sorry. Happy New Year to you too. Sammy says, I went with Arsenal even when Liverpool had that window. I feel like Arsenal are the favourites. They have a very good squad, basically 2 players for each position. Their manager's been trying to win it and failing for like 3 seasons or whatever. So you would expect Arsenal to win it, you would. Um, the only thing that would make me think that they might not win it is actually just because of Pep. Like if City had a different manager, say Pep left in the summer, there's absolutely no way in a rebuild I would be back. Well, I'd back my team, but I wouldn't be suggesting that we're going to win the league. But I do think with Pep, just like something about him, he just, when he turns it on, he can just run with it. And I think it's almost like there was an Arsenal fan, Curtis Shaw, he was saying the other day that basically he feels like Arteta is waiting for Pep to hand him the title rather than going and taking it. And I do get that. I get that from him, where it's like that game against Liverpool, like Liverpool are not the Liverpool of last season. Like, games like that, you're at home, you're already 6 points clear. Like, you can make it, well, 5 points clear, you can make it 8 points clear. Like, go and win that game. Like, I don't think Arsenal looked like they were going out and grabbing that. Like, we used to have games like that where we would go and beat Man United, like, by crazy scorelines, or, we'd go and beat Arsenal 5-0, and, go and beat Liverpool 5-0. These sorts of results where you're like, right, I'm winning this league, I'm taking it, like, it is coming with me. And I feel like they haven't done that. It was kind of like just hoping that they got a corner and won it against Liverpool, and I thought Liverpool played quite well. I thought Liverpool were the better team overall. However, them sorts of games, like, this is where you say, I'm taking this league, it's mine. And I feel like he just kind of like shied away from that. And obviously, if they go and win it, no one will care. If they don't win it, they'll look back at games like that and think, we're at home against Liverpool, we didn't beat them in the first game. Maybe we should have gone and won that, like, who knows? But we'll see what happens. City aren't helpful because they're dropping points themselves, but yeah, Thomas said, us, Man City and Aston Villa will all drop points. Exactly. Everyone will drop points. I said this at the start of January. Someone was saying, if we win this game, this game, this game. I said, even if we don't, it doesn't change anything because we're all going to drop points. Difference, Mancini was winning titles with Inter Milan. Arteta doesn't know how to win us titles. Yeah, I mean, like, Mancini was the one chasing. So, yeah, I think it's even worse in that aspect because Mancini was chasing Fergie. So it was almost like Arteta would be the one chasing Pep, but it's not that way around. So I've always said if it's close within sort of the dying days of the Prem, like the last sort of month, if it's close, I expect City to be the ones to go and win that. But who knows? Like, at some point, Arsenal have to win it. At some point, it has to happen, surely. So, yeah. Manchester Derby, we'll drop in points. I actually asked Grok, and Grok said it's going to be a draw 1-1, which is not good. It's not good. We have to go win there. This is what I'm saying. Games like that, if you're serious about a title, you go there and win. If City go there and draw or lose, you're not winning their league. Let's be honest. So it is what it is. If we'd beaten Liverpool, we'd be 8 points clear of you and Aston Villa, my manager being a coward, and we sat back in the second half. Yeah, this is what I was saying. Like, I don't really get that. That's kind of what they were talking about when they said about Rodri, like Rodri's the mentality conversation, and he was saying games like that, we would go in there to win. It doesn't mean you win. Like, City haven't won the last 3 games in the Prem, but did we go there to win them? Of course. We went to Sunderland to win. We didn't. We played Chelsea at home. We went to win. We played to win. We just didn't win. And again against Brighton, we played to win. There's none of them games that you can look at and think, oh, Pep coached a 0-0 or Pep coached a 1-1. He didn't. He played to win them games. Didn't happen, but we tried. I feel like with Arteta, I don't know if he set up to necessarily win that game. I think he set up to not lose that game, which is a different thing altogether. Thomason says, we are linked with Guy, we don't need him. You and Liverpool need him, your defence leaks holes. Yeah, Arsenal definitely don't need him. They're just trying to buy him so other teams don't get him. And to be fair, I hear that because there's some players that City should have probably bought to stop other teams from buying. You can really strengthen a rival by letting them get certain players. And if they're interested in joining you, bring them on board, I do agree with this, Thomason. I think if you don't win the title, I do think Arteta has to go. Because I don't know where you go from here. Like, I think last season for me, he should have won that league. Like, Slot is a new manager. Klopp's team didn't even bring any players in. He was playing with Klopp's team. Pep City is very well known after the treble that we needed a rebuild. City's windows after the rebuild weren't good enough. We didn't change things as quickly as we should have. We still had our average age was really old. They were trying to hold on to these players, and sometimes you've just got to be like, sorry, you're at a certain age, you're a bit past it, you got to go. Like Walker, for example, should have gone before he left. Stones is still at City. I love Stones, but he should not be at City. We got rid of De Bruyne because of his injuries. Um, Obviously, it's sad because I love De Bruyne, but how many games can you give us a season? Are you reliable? And could your wages be going to someone who we can rely on? Yes, they could. So, yeah, it's things like that. So our rebuild is a little bit staggered. Obviously, it takes time. A rebuild doesn't happen over one window. City is still in a rebuild. We're still going to be in a rebuild probably next season as well. But yeah, we just have to get these players in and then get the players that we need to get out at the right time. There's the homegrown issue. We don't have any Champions League spots available. So when we bring in players now, are they going to want to join us if they can't sign up for the Champions League? Probably not. Like a big player, you want to play in the Champions League. Obviously, you can re-register players. We have quite a few that are out for a while, so that could work in that new signing's favour. But ultimately, homegrown is the best way to go right now, just because of that sort of situation. So yeah, Semenyo doesn't matter because he's homegrown, so it is fine. He can always be registered. So yeah, big up RD United, says big up Jan, big up to you, big up Flawless every time. Go subscribe to Sarcasm City, guys. And all of these channels that you see, RD United TV. Yeah, if you've got a channel, shout out, and anyone in here, get following them. If it gets close, will Arsenal crumble? It feels inevitable, but yes, they'll win eventually. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like if it's close, I would back Pep over Arteta. That's what I've said all season. It's not about City's players, it's not about Arsenal's players. The players on the pitch both got quality. City and Arsenal have quality that can win you a title, win you games, etc., etc. But yeah, it's the mentality of the players. If it's one of them games where it drops to 2 points and City have drawn, or one of them, does he go out and win that game? I don't know. Does he? Does he not? Who knows? But yeah, we will soon find out, I'm sure. And United says, are City doing any other Jan deals? Apparently, there's a lot of rumours about Guy, but again, I think there's a lose-lose or win-win situation for him, I would argue, because if he leaves now, Crystal Palace fans will. I mean, it's the Trent situation all over again. Trent could have left in Jan and got Liverpool some money, but then do Liverpool win the league? I think they probably still do. But do they win it if he goes? If they don't win it, do they look back and say, well, we sold Trent in January? If that doesn't happen, maybe we win it. So you just don't know. It's one of those. So he stayed and won the league, but then he left and it was on a free. And then everyone wasn't happy because he left on a free. So it's a bit of a lose-lose situation. If Guy leaves now, great, good for him. He's at a new club. He could potentially win trophies. Palace, their season's over in terms of trophies. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, does he stay? And then they don't get any money from him, but then he gets a big sign-on bonus. So it's like financially, it's better for him to stay until the summer. But it's like, if he does that, the fans might start saying, well, you've left on a free. So I don't know. It's one of them situations. I feel like whichever way he goes, it's always going to be sort of looked at as if, oh, he made the wrong decision. Do you know what I mean? But if say he joins a Man City or an Arsenal, he wouldn't join Arsenal till the summer, so it wouldn't really make sense. But say he joins City now and City go and win the league or the Champions League, then that's very good business for Guy because he's come in and he's been, he's won a big trophy like that. So yeah, I don't know what City will say to him. I think Liverpool already probably said, look, if it doesn't go through now, we'll get you in the summer. no need to worry about it. You're going to get this, that, and the other. And I feel like his heart is set on Liverpool, but we will have to see what happens there. With City, like a lot of their deals aren't really that public until it's closer to being completed. That's why I actually thought we wouldn't get Semenyo because there was so much about, and I thought City doesn't really work like this. But City have said that they contacted Semenyo and he made it clear he wanted City. Guy, everything that I've heard is that his first choice isn't City. So the way City do things, I'd be surprised if we got Guy because they like a player that's like, I want you sort of thing, which is fine, but at the same time, sometimes you have to tempt players away from other clubs. So we'll just have to see what happens with that one. Thomason says, I predicted Liverpool to win the league when they got Slot. I didn't trust Arteta to do it. It's just a bad job. I mean, he might get over the line this time. He might do. Because you've got a good enough squad to do it. There's only so much he can influence. Arteta probably needs to avoid any injuries. Yeah, I mean, he's had injury. He's got a good enough squad. That's the thing, because we've got injuries. So it's not. If we had a fully fit team, and they had injuries, then maybe. But we're in a worse boat than us. Enrique to Man City when Pep leaves, he'll be the perfect replacement. He is the guy that I want. Um, but it depends when. I don't think Pep leaves yet. I don't see Pep leaving next season the way people are saying. I don't see it. Like every time they kind of question Pep about his future, he's like, "Are you sick of me? I'm staying," basically. Um, I don't think Pep leaves yet, especially when he's signing some of the players that he's signing. These players are coming because of Pep. Um, so yeah, I don't think he goes anywhere yet. Semenyo, great signing for you. He's a baller. Yeah, he is. And he's having a great season as well, which is good. I like the way that Semenyo's made it from like non-league to the league in the time that he has. I like that. I think some players, they're very almost entitled because they've grown up in academies, top club academies, and then it's like, they're always playing, or if they're not playing, they're sent on loan, and then they come back, and then it's like, they feel like they have to play every game. Whereas I feel like players like him that know what it's like to be without a club at like an advanced age, like he was a teenager, do you know what I mean, without a club, I feel like he probably appreciates the opportunities a little bit more than other players who just kind of have always had that security. Um, so I like that. I do like him. I think that's probably why he's so like humble as a person. So yeah, I do like him. As a neutral, if it's close, 5 games to go, I back City over Arsenal, just the mentality. Yeah, I think when City go into that demon mode at the end of the season, I wouldn't want to be fighting against City and that. We've seen Liverpool have that record where they drew one game, didn't win the league. We've seen Arsenal the same, had like a sea of green with one red, and it cost them. So yeah, we will have to see what happens. Difference, you got Pep, we have Arteta, rookie manager. If we had Conte now, we go on to win it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, it's a long way to go. Yeah, no, if Arsenal win the league, you're not allowed to leave social media until we drive you crazy. Listen, that X is getting blocked, and I will push that forward if you guys win the league, because I'm telling you now, yeah, it's not that. Ryan, as usual, league is done. You've said the league is done 3 times. You've told me that you won it at the beginning. Then you told me that Arsenal had won it, and then you said City have won it, and now you've gone back to Arsenal. So yeah, that's not really gonna mean anything right now, to be honest. City are pathetic right now. The thing is, City don't need to be good right now. They just need to stay there and thereabouts. That's what they need to do, and then we will see what happens. But yeah, thank you guys for commenting. If you haven't already, please like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Yeah, I'll just briefly touch on the derby. Man United away is it's never the best, most exciting game for me. I don't enjoy it at all. United can be the worst team in the league, lose to the shittest team in the league, and then when they play against City, it's like they turn into, prime Barcelona. So, yeah, I'm kind of expecting a very difficult game. We do have two players in our team in particular that like to step up for derbies, and boy, do they need it. So, fingers crossed that they decide, if they don't decide to turn up midweek against Newcastle, that the derby is the game to do it, because I will fully back them for that. And they are, if you've not worked out already, Erling Haaland and Phil Foden. Both of them love a derby. Um, and yeah, they have that kind of knowledge of what a derby is. Like, I know, I say this all the time, I know players come in and they get the club and stuff, but it's like, to have that actual hate for the opposition, you only really get that from the players that understand it. And Haaland is one of them. Like, he's been in the crowd at Man City plenty of times before when he joined. So yeah, he knows that he gets it. His dad obviously was involved in quite vicious derbies as well. He gets it. Phil Foden, another one, Manchester boy, he gets it. Not everyone does. Not everyone does. I'll say that. So yeah, I think it's one of them. Um, we'll just have to see what happens. But them two always seem to be up for it. Thankfully for us, Rashford is gone, because Rashford is another one who just got it. He got it. He always used to score against us. And yeah, I'm so glad that he's not there, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. Like, if they play how they played the other day in the cup, I don't see how we don't batter them. But they're not going to play like that. They're going to turn up. They're going to be good. And you're going to see the best of United you've seen this season. We know that already. I'm just hoping we can be clinical, because it's not like we don't create chances or we don't dominate possession. We always do that. So, yeah, we just need to take our chances when we get them. And I hope that at the other end, we can do as well as we can. Obviously, the defence is going to be Alain or Alia, however you say his name. Don't really know. And Kusanov. I would assume it's going to be them too. So yeah, it's not going to be our strongest defence. But yeah, let's hope we can. I'm just hoping that Kusanov doesn't get sent off, because he can be quite rash. And at Old Trafford, they will get a penalty if it's even half of a penalty. So yeah, I'm hoping that we just, keep contained, keep possession, take our chances. Bernardo Silva loves a big game, like, he likes to get involved. Um, so yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I hope to see Semenyo. I hope he plays. Um, but yeah, we will see what happens. But before that, obviously, there's the game against Newcastle, first leg of the Carabao Cup. Um, Newcastle away, again, not the easiest place to go. Cup game, they're not gonna wanna let us have too much of the ball, because, if it did get into one of them games where we end up winning 3-0 or something like that, it's practically over. So it'll be a tight game. They'll want to get the upper hand. They're at home. They're going to want to go into that Etihad game being 2-1 up, 3-1 up if they can be. So yeah, we just need to be careful defensively. Take our chances going forwards, bring it back to the Etihad, and then I expect us to win at the Etihad, because we're at home. So yeah, as long as we can sort of just try and play well. If we can get a 2-goal lead or something like that, brilliant. If we can't, just bring it back to the Etihad and see what happens. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. Um, and yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. But the second leg, I don't think I could go to that game, because I'm working pretty much all of the bloody February games. So I don't think I could go to our second leg. But yeah, I hope that it's one of them where it's kind of, we've got the upper hand going into the second game. Um, but yeah, uh, the FA Cup. Yeah, let me know who City get. I'm sure my dad's gonna come and tell me. But yeah, I don't want Wigan. Anyone but Wigan. Um, Do you reckon Alonso will go to Liverpool? I think that Liverpool will want Alonso. Um, it's just whether you sack Slot in time because there's so much like I feel like the football management at the moment. Oh, we got Salford. What, home or away? Um, yeah, I feel like the managers at the moment, there's so much like so many managers that you know are on their way out. Like if you look through our league and you look at some of the players, it's like even if you think they're gonna stay till the rest of the season, they're not gonna get offered a new contract. So if you look at that as a whole, it's one of them where it's like, I don't know how many of these jobs are going to be available. So if you're a manager and you're looking at like so for Alonso, for example, he might be thinking, I want to go back to Liverpool. So he might be waiting for that job. But there's going to be so many managers probably sacked before Slot. Because I don't think Slot gets sacked before the end of the season. Unless it looks like he's never getting top four, which it looks like he is getting top four. Do you know what I mean? Even with Liverpool's form, I don't think he gets sacked mid-season. So if he doesn't get sacked, Alonso's going to have to then wait till the end of the season. But there's so many managers that are probably going to get sacked before him. There might be quite a few clubs in contention for him when it gets to that stage. So did Liverpool make the decision to sack Slot early so they can get Alonso? I don't know. But I personally, Liverpool are not a sacking club. Like, they're not a Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? United have become a sacking club. Tottenham, to an extent, have become a sacking club now. I don't know if Liverpool are like that. Excuse me. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It will all depend on timing and what other jobs are available because it just looks like across the board now. Like even, Pep, people are talking about, when's Pep gonna leave? Like every club, literally, the manager is either on the way out or could leave um within the next year. So, you probably could pick the job you want at the moment, to be fair. Um, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But he's got a connection to Liverpool, so it makes sense. Um, but yeah, Salford or Swindon. I assume that is, yeah. Salford or Swindon. Okay. Is that away? Is that away? Because if it's away, that's not bad. If it's at home, that's not good. Because I probably can't go. I still have to pay for it. So yeah, won't be too good. Ryan says he loves Slot. I'm sure you do. Thomas Frank will be gone soon. Slot probably end of the season. Yeah, I agree. I think Tottenham will sack Frank definitely. Or we're at home. Oh, for God's sake. I mean, from a club point of view, it's better that it's at home. Chances of going through are higher when you're at home, etc., etc. But as a match-going fan who lives 200 and whatever miles away, it's not the best. So yeah, he's just one of them. We'll see. Hopefully, I can go to it. I do like an FA Cup game. But yeah, I feel like you would be defending Slot. The time when everyone is like he shit, that would be the time where you're like, yes. Because I remember when I used to say that Arteta was a good manager and you used to laugh me down, oh, Arteta's shit, Arteta's never gonna be a good manager, etc. etc. And I said, no, that'll be a good manager. I'm not sure he's gonna lift titles, but he's a good manager. And yeah, and so far I don't think I've been wrong, really. He came in and won an FA Cup for Arsenal, and then he's not won anything since. But he's still been getting better and better. He's been a good manager. So yeah, I don't think he's close to Pep. And I feel like if it gets to be in City's favour, like as in the Etihad, they're coming to the Etihad in April. I think if it gets to that point where it's 3 points, then I would expect City to win it for sure. I would expect us to win it. Because you're at home in a title decider. Like, this has happened how many times before? Like, we're not new to that. Being at home in a proper title decider. That's not new to us. I expect you to go and win that game, you know. So yeah, it's just one of them things. Uh, how can you say Arteta is a good manager without any title? Now, this is when he first came in. So when he first came to Arsenal, and I was saying that I think he'll make a good manager, but I don't think he's going to be good enough to be battling for titles every year with the likes of Pep and Klopp at the time. Which I think is, yeah, I think that's right, because even though he has been competing for titles, like, realistically, the closest he got was probably what, 24? And City were not good. We shouldn't have won that league, like, but we did, you know. So uh, yeah, it's just one of them things. I don't know. But of course, Ryan thinks that he's a generational manager now. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's been a few seasons, like last season, City were terrible last season. Like, everyone will say City were not good. You know, we were not winning games we should have won. We were drawing games we should have won. We were losing games we should have won. Like, it was just a season where we weren't great. Like, there was games where we were great, don't get me wrong. We obviously won games that, you know, we needed to win. We got to an FA Cup final. Again, we should have won that. We didn't. But I think, you know, we had quite a poor season by our standards. And, you know, we ended up being 3 points off Arsenal, who had a much better season than us. You know, people were talking about trebles and quadruples partway through the season. So yeah, it's just one of them things. I just think with the league, like, you can look like you're nowhere near, and within 2 weeks you're back in it. Like, this season, City started really badly. You know, we lost two of our first three games or something crazy like that. You know, we were not good. We really were not good. And you know, we went away to Brighton, we lost. We played Spurs at home, we lost. We beat Wolves obviously in the first game, and you know, it looked like we were miles behind, and the next minute we're back up there, and you know, it's just this season, like, we've not even been results wise, City haven't been great. Like, we've been dropping points we shouldn't have dropped, etc., etc. But I mean, you know, it was 2 points a week ago. Now it's because we had the week that we had. Now it's back up to six, but there's no reason why it can't then drop back to two. Like, this league is a long, long time, and like I say, you don't even have to lose. You could just draw two games, and automatically that 6 points drops. You know, drops to two, and two is you know, you can't afford to lose then. So yeah, I think there's a lot left to play for. Um, you know, like, it is what it is. City's domination is finished. Yeah, but no one dominates. This is the thing, no one dominates. You win the league once, you don't win it the next year. Liverpool haven't dominated it, you know. You won it last year, now you don't look like you're gonna win it again. If Arsenal win it this year, who's to say they're gonna retain it? Like, I think retaining the title, because City do it all the time, everyone talks about it like it's normal. Like, oh, well, we're going to win it again and again and again. It just doesn't happen. Like, it doesn't happen. The only teams that have done it recently is City. United have done it when they were doing it. And Chelsea did it. But that was a long time ago now. Do you know what I mean? You say Arsenal will dominate, but are you saying this Arsenal team are better than the Arsenal team under Wenger? There's no way they're better than the team that they used to have, and they didn't dominate then. I just think that talking about it is easy. Do it first. Like, Liverpool fans were saying this last season, if we win it this year, we'll win it this year. You went and spent loads of money, you made your squad the strongest squad, and you didn't retain it. like maybe you go win it now, I don't know, but you haven't retained it. The, honestly, this whole talk about trebles, quadruples, you just don't do it. No one does it. Like, this is the thing. Like, Arsenal last season were going to win the Champions League and the league, didn't win either. Like, it's mental. Like, do it first, and then we can have the discussion about who's going to dominate. When they've won two in a row, then we can talk about three in a row. When they've won three in a row, then we can talk about four in a row. And when they've won four in a row, we can say they dominated like City. Because City's level of domination is four in a row. So yeah, let's not have that conversation because it is comparing apples with bananas. Um, you, Chelsea, Man United retained it. Us, Leicester, and Blackburn never retained it. It's true. It's very difficult. I don't think people realise how hard it is to retain a title. It's not easy. And when Pep does it twice, three, four times, then everyone's surprised that he doesn't retain it five. Why would he retain it five? No one's even done it four times, like what City were doing was unheard of. And, like the sort of aftermath of that has actually led us to where we are now. Like, some of our players were overworked, three, four, going for it every year, going for it every year. Look at Rodri. Do you know what I mean? So it's just one of them things. It's not easy to do. There's a reason why only Pep has four in a row. And yeah, he's not washed. No one can retain it because it's difficult. And if you think you're going to sack your manager every time they don't retain it, you're never going to have a manager for more than 1 year. Because, because it's just not happening. And Arteta can't even win it, never mind retain it. So when he wins it, we can talk about him retaining it. And if he retains it, then we can talk about him retaining it again, like I said. Um, but yeah, the only time Arteta's ever retained a title was when he was working for Man City. So there's that. Um, so yeah, as if he was even there. I think he was there. I feel like he did retain it at City, maybe. Yeah, he did. He did. They won it 17, 18, and 18, 19. So he retained it then. Um, but yeah, it's it's not easy to do. I wish people wouldn't talk about it like it's easy to do because it's really not. But yeah, there's always a team competing as well. You think, oh, who's gonna battle them? There's always a team that pops up. So yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, no, it's just Ryan is a wind-up merchant. He's trying to rattle me, but it's not gonna work. Like it's not gonna work. Like, but yeah, it's one of them things. But I've been on for like almost an hour now, and I am ill, as you can hear, and I also need to drive to London, which I don't want to do. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna jump off now. But yeah, let's hope we get a win midweek and a win at the weekend. That would be nice. Our fixtures are quite difficult coming up. We've got three of our hardest fixtures. I'd actually say though, I think the derby, our results away are actually better than they are at the Etihad. Um, so yeah, Old Trafford is. I wouldn't say it's just because it's United. Do you know what I mean? Spurs away, on the other hand, a record there is not great. Saying that, when we've gone there twice and we've had to win, we've actually won. But yeah, that's not an easy place to go. And then Anfield have been Liverpool have been shipping out points like it's a fucking charity. But I know when we go there, they're going to turn into prime Barcelona and want to get 3 points. So yeah, it's just one of them things. I'm not looking forward to that either. Um, but yeah, it's just one of them. I think the players that we have, even though, because a lot of people say like, oh, this isn't the same team. It isn't the same team. Do you know what I mean? This isn't the same team that used to, win the league 5 years ago. Of course it's not. Do you know what I mean? But there are players in there that were there 5 years ago. And I'd argue, apart from Haaland, it's probably our core. Like, you had Edison in net, which we don't have anymore. But Ruben Diaz has been at the back. He's been involved in all of them pretty much. Then you've got Rodri. Rodri's Rodri. You've got Phil Foden. You've got players like that. So there are a lot of players who have been there, done that. got the t-shirt, and hopefully that's going to be good enough. But yeah, I don't know. It's a long season. There's a lot more games to play. 2 wins or 2 losses can change everything. If Arsenal go win their next 2 games and we lose our next two, look at the gap. The gap will go from 6 to 12. 12 points, not easy to come back from because you're relying on a team losing so many games and you have to win every single game. It's unrealistic. So when it starts getting to 12 points, that's when I would say, you know what? It's not gonna happen. But like I say, when it's sort of anything below 10, I would argue, is, 3 losses might sound like a lot, but then, when you talk about draws, it's not hard to draw 3 games. Do you know what I mean? It's not difficult over a whole season to draw 3 games. So when you start looking at the points and how many points you lose, like City, like I say, have lost 6 points in a week. That's 2 losses, but we didn't lose. So you don't always have to lose these games to drop these points. And yeah, it's a long season. And I feel like with the Prem, like there's no guaranteed wins anymore. Like I feel like 5, 6, 7 years ago, there were certain games where you knew you were getting 3 points before it had even kicked off. Like teams would come to the Etihad and you were like, yeah, it's an easy win. People were predicting 4, 5, 6, 7 nil. These sorts of crazy. I remember I used to bet, and they used to be like, my dad always used to put 3-1. And it was like at City, 3-1 was like the norm. Like, that's what we used to do week in, week out. Whereas now, like 3-1, it's like you probably wouldn't predict that anymore because you just don't know, like, regardless of who's there. So, yeah, it's a different league nowadays, and I think everyone looks. I've seen a lot of like Arsenal fans and like other fans look at like the games on paper and be like, "This is where City drop points. This is where City drop points." But you probably wouldn't have guessed Brighton. You at home, you wouldn't have guessed that, but that's where we drop points. So I don't think Arsenal necessarily need to drop points in the big games that you expect them to drop points in. It could be any of the other games. Like when you're in a title race as well, some of these teams are trying to escape relegation. Like, look at a team like Everton. Everton throughout the season will be up and down. They have good periods where they win a couple of games, then they have bad periods where they just look like they can't beat anyone. And then when they get in a relegation battle, they're getting out of that relegation battle. Like you will see them beat teams that you're thinking, what the hell? Like Everton, what happened there? Do you know what I mean? So I think some of these teams, like when it gets to the end of the season, they're not going to want to drop any points at all. And you will see teams like Wolves that have been absolutely shocking all season, relegated already, beating teams that probably you would never expect it to happen. So, yeah, the league is one of them things. It's very interesting. There's a long way to go. And I think realistically, I wouldn't be ever celebrating a Premier League title before April. And even in April, you've got to be a certain amount clear to be confident that it's done. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, our last game is not an easy game. Our last game is Aston Villa at home. So even on the last day, I don't want to take it to the last day again against Aston Villa again. I don't want to do that. Do you know what I mean? Personally. So if we do win it, we need to win it before. But I think Arsenal, if I'm not mistaken, are Palace away. I might be wrong on that, but that's not an easy game either. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's a long way to go, and I will catch you guys on the next stream that I do. Hopefully, won't be too long. Sorry, before I go, I will just pick up these comments. Thomas says 2-1 Man United for the Manchester Derby. Need you drafting more points. We beat Nottingham Forest. Aston Villa will beat Everton. Um, let's hope you lose to Nottingham Forest and we beat Man United. How about that? But yeah, I don't, I don't know. Derby day, anything can happen. And you know what? Like, it's only right because we used to, when United were good and we were not good, we used to do everything to beat Man United on them derbies, like to put our say in whether they'd win the league or not. And sometimes, obviously, it worked, and other times it didn't. Other times they won it anyway. But that's what you want to be doing. You just want to shit out the results so you can laugh at them. they'll want to do the same to us. So yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was Palace away. That's not an easy game. So if it gets to that last day, that's not easy. Neither of their games are easy. Obviously, I don't think all three of us will be in a title race at that stage. I don't think it'll be us and Villa for the title. Um, Someone will drop off, whether it's us, whether it's you, whether it's Villa. Someone will drop off at that point. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting season. There's a lot of games to go. I don't look at any games in this league now and think they're easy. I just don't. The quality of some of these players in lower league teams are good. So yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. I guess, Ryan, you are in trouble. You're gonna be blocked. If we win the league and if Arsenal win the league, you're still getting blocked. So you better hope for your sake that Villa win it. But yeah, you guys, I will see you on the next stream. Look after yourself, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you another time.